Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal was a beef straight out of a Hollywood movie. I swear this is where the writers from Creed 3 got the script for this movie. They are not the first instance of when friends fought each other. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz was one. TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt was another. There was a whole season of Tough dedicated to show how close they were as friends and training partners. And another friendship that turned sour was John Jones versus Rashad Evans, in which they fought for the light heavyweight title. But the reason why this one is not only an underrated beef, but so personal was because these dudes were absolutely friends, and it was well documented by Tales from the Grind, their YouTube channel they had back in the day, a true tight-knit brothership. And it correlates with Creed 3 mainly because in the movie, Adonis Creed and Jonathan Majors' character Damian Anderson were literally brothers before Damian Anderson went to prison.
It was like brothers.
Now, where the beef went sour and where the bad blood started is the ultimate definition of there's one side, there's another side, and in the middle, there's the truth. If you ask Jorge, the beef started after Colby didn't pay Paulino Hernandez 5% of the paycheck that he was owed after every single fight. However, Colby said he paid the gym rather than Paulino. And if you ask Colby Covington where the beef started, he said it was after he won the interim title against RDA and Jorge was becoming jealous of his own success. The idea of them two fighting started in late 2019, early 2020. Fast forward to 2022 and we finally got the fight. And it was so personal because what did those three beefs that I mentioned earlier have in common? There was always a belt on the line in each and every single one of those fights. This one was the only pay-per-view outside of a Conor McGregor fight where a belt wasn't headlining the card. The build up to this fight was absolutely insane. I can't remember a press conference having local PD on the stage other than Khabib and Conor when they had their press conference, but the fight went exactly how many thought it would be. Many people thought that George Masvidal would have an advantage on the feet, whereas Colby Covington would dominate the wrestling. And if you would have thought that this was some foreshadowing, them play wrestling in their apartment back in 2013, that's literally how the fight went, except Jorge Masvidal didn't have as much success as he did in the play fighting that they did in their apartment. I mean, Colby stood up with Jorge many times and was winning the stand-up exchanges, and anytime there was an opportunity for Jorge to regain octagon control and take the fight to the center, he could not do it. He would try and wrestle with Colby, and that obviously did. Now, obviously, the fight wasn't on a movie-type level. It didn't live up to the hype, really, because of the two clashes of styles like it did in Creed 3, but you get the idea. Once brothers, once friends, turn into ultimate bitter rivals. This fight happened 3 years ago, and when you look at the landscape of the UFC and the past events that have happened in the past 3 years, this is probably the last event where two fighters fought and they had absolute beef with each other. This is the last pay-per-view event where we were all hyped to see the press conference, where we were all hyped to see the post-fight press conference, because what were they going to say before and after the fight? This was the last pay-per-view I've truly seen it in the past 3 years, which is really sad to think about how there aren't any more rivalries like this. And if you do have one, let me know in the comment section, because I swear for goodness, I watch every single pay-per-view, almost every single fight night. I can't think of a fight that had this much animosity and hype behind it since UFC 272, and we're on UFC 313 this weekend. I mean, Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya, I thought we were going to have levels of animosity and levels of hate for one another like Khabib and Conor, but that beef died down tremendously during fight week. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira, yeah, that was a rivalry, but there was no animosity, there was no beef. It was built straight off of competitiveness. Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera, I mean, I guess, but there was no hype behind that fight, and the trash talk between those two was, again, like Adesanya and Pereira, straight up competitiveness. I think I'm better than you. No, I think I'm better than you. I think my punches land better. No, I think I hit harder than you. That type of animosity. There was no mothers involved in any of those beefs, with quotation marks. There was no mentioning of kids. There was no mention of family. There was no mention of religion. And I know that's kind of dark for me to think about, but I like that kind of stuff. I like seeing those guys get on that sort of level of hatred for each other when it comes to that. There hasn't been one since. And that's really sad when you think about it. Don't even mention Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, because I ain't trying to do that Squid Game shit where we have to watch the closed captioning to see them talk shit about each other. That's absolutely boring. So let me know in the comment section if there are any other beefs that we have seen in the past 3 years other than this one where the animosity was through the roof and we wanted to see them go at each other, because I cannot think of one, and that's really sad. And it makes you wonder, is the entire state and the entire sport of UFC declining? Because at the end of the day, it's all about entertainment. It's all about dollars. Dana White might not make it seem that way, but you and I both know that's what it is.